Peace YouTube, this is FleurBrun coming to you today with another topic of discussion. Peace everyone, peace to the east, the west, north, and the south. I'm coming to you on Friday, post new moon. Happy post new moon to everyone and Pisces. Hopefully you weren't crying and emotionally, in overdrive. So anyway, I want to get into conversation about copy and paste people. And there was obviously, for me to have this conversation, was obviously something that came into my my awareness that kind of propelled me to discuss this topic. So I'll wait for a few people to check in. It's weird because there's like a glaze over my phone and I don't even think anyone knows I'm on here. Anyway, I think I'm on here. Huh, interesting. I don't see my I tell you all the time. Okay. Hold on, YouTube. It's interesting because if you're on here, I don't see that you're here. I can't even as soon as I'm about to discuss this topic, they kind of block everything. Wow, YouTube, I thought you were going to improve on how many people are able to see my lives. All right, family, I think I'm going to have to stop this particular, because I can't see anything. I don't even know if it's even on. It doesn't even show. This is so interesting. Should I allow? Maybe I should just let it sit for a minute. Hold on, family. Interesting. I can't see you. I think you're all there. I guess I can read the chat afterwards. I'd like to somewhat interact with you, but I don't see the chat starting off. So anyway, I'm going to get into conversation because I feel like starting to talk, I don't want to restart the whole live for something that is unnecessary. I see that it's filming and hopefully you're seeing me. I can't confirm or that you are, but let's get it on. So anyway, I'm going to talk about copy and paste people. And the reason why this conversation was kind of initiated is, this morning I was going to the gym because I have to work out. I'm post-apocalyptic body. And I'm having my lunch, which is a wonderful green smoothie. So anyway, I was in the gym, and sometimes in the gym, there's an obsession when you go to the gyms, especially in United States in America, that there are people there, which I never truly understood why. They like to watch CNN News and all the news channels. It's insanity. Like, how are you working out, watching apocalyptic, television while you're working out? It never makes sense to me. But I'm a pull back from the judgment. So I'm there working out and I'm listening, I have my headphones and I'm doing my own zoned out higher frequency. I'm listening to some of the YouTube videos that you guys send me all night long, every night, all night. And as I'm listening, I can hear somewhat the news on the television. I'm like, okay, that sounds like Gayle King. I was like, because, all this hoopla about the R. Kelly, and I didn't even see the Michael Jackson video, which, leaving Neverlands, which many of you told me to watch. The R. Kelly was enough low field, vibration for me for one day. So I probably maybe get a chance to view that later on. So I'm listening and I can kind of hear like what sounds like Gayle King, and I look up and it's another newscaster. I was like, that's interesting. She sounds just like Gayle King. She don't look like her, but it is what it is. And I'm working out. Then I go over to the other side of the gym, and then I hear the same voice tone. And I look up and it's a whole nother woman newscaster, but this one looks like she has the same haircut, almost same color as the newscaster before. And then I realized something. I had like an epiphany. Oh, stop. They copy and paste genres of people and then they present it to you, and why some of it becomes more receptive to you is because what you know or what you're used to, or what's been perpetually propaganda to you, you will accept. And I realize there are copy and paste people everywhere. On social media, I've noticed a lot of times, hold on. I notice a lot of times on social media where you're looking at, if you're coming into the room and you are making comments, I can't even see you because my feed is not even allowing me to see your chats. So if you're chatting right now, I'm not quite sure why I can't see you. Okay, so if I'm not responding, I'm sorry. You know, United States of America, and also, you know, the Illuminati's who control YouTube, all the Zionists. They probably got pissed off with our live feeds lately. So, you know, because many of you, as long as you guys can see each other's live feed, I'm okay with that, because the interaction between every one of you is wonderful. I prefer you guys interact, because generally I probably won't even interact with the feed that much anyway. So going back to that, I was noticing that on social media, even on Instagram, I'm seeing pictures of like different women, and then I'll see pictures of totally different women that look exactly like the woman previously, and same eyebrow shape, same lip plumped up, same colors, sometimes same color of hair, same cut of hair, almost like they have the same cheekbones, or they're doing their makeup looking exactly alike, almost like visual clones. And I'm starting to realize, family, and call me a little paranoid, maybe, you know, maybe I am. I told you I have a healthy sense of paranoia. Growing up in New York, you have to, for your basic survival. If you don't have paranoia, you might lose your life, or your jewelry, or your purse, or your peace of mind. So I've learned to be slightly paranoid for survival reasons. Big up to all my family who grows up in the concrete jungle. You know what I mean. Anyway, so I noticed that there's all these beings all over social media, on the news, everywhere, that are carbon copies of the same genre. And I understand that the majority of people that we're interacting with aren't real anyway. They're holographic people. They are basically inserts in the matrix that you deem to be humanoids or people, and they're really just empty seaters, or just props, energetic props that are sit there. You think you're interacting with them, but they loop. That's how you know they're not real. And then I realized this goes a little further, family. This goes a little further into the realm of this goes a little further into the realm of them actually copying and pasting a specific type of person and imprinting it, doing a holographic impression on different social media platforms, and you're accepting it as real people. How do we know these people are real? When I'm listening to the newscaster and she sounds just like Gayle King, every single newscaster had like this deep, rusty voice. How do you get different women that look slightly different but have the same vocal patterns? How does that happen? I mean, I've met a lot of people on this planet, not everybody, obviously. You know, it'd be impossible for me to meet all the empty seaters and all the draconians and all the reptilians. I couldn't do it, even if I wanted to. Nor would I want to. But how is it that I'm seeing all these different people from all these different backgrounds, different race, what you consider racial or complexion backgrounds, all different nationalities, and they all look alike? Like literally look alike. Like literally, I can look at different celebrities. I remember looking at what's her name? What's her name? Baby on the brain. Shakira. I remember looking at Shakira one time, because I used to like to watch Shakira's videos back in the days. And then I was looking at a video with another celebrity, and then Beyonce, and I was like, oh snap. If I didn't know any better, they look exactly alike. Now, granted, makeup artists will generally have a base platform of a look that is considered to be the look of the season. I get that because I've gone to fashion weeks and fashion shows where you see that there's a certain particular look or genre of makeup types that they'll do, and it'll be uniformed. So you, even though you see different women, they still do the same cheekbone highlighting of cheekbones in the same way, same plumping out the lips in the same way, same color schemes, same you know, arching of the eyebrows. So you'll see a uniformed look amongst different models, even of different nationalities. But this goes deeper because there isn't any way that you can basically take vocal patterns of different women from different walks of life, different ages, and put that and have that along the news, all the newscasters having the same voice. So I had to go a little further. So I had to turn on ESPN, which you know, I haven't watched ESPN since I was married to the Nazi. Thank goodness. Because I was forced into that way of life. I'm grateful the Nazi has moved on to another prey. Unfortunately, she's mind controllable, so he's happy as a pig in blanket because now he has a young draconian that absolutely is, you know, so naive and so well, draconians are never naive, but so receptacle to mind control and abuse that, you know, it makes for a perfect relationship. I'm grateful, so, you know, but he won't leave me alone still. You know, you would think that, you know, Nazi would be happy being with a receptacle that's receptive to all his darkness. And it still doesn't make him happy. Anyway, I'm sidebarring. But I'm seeing I went to ESPN and I'm noticing that all the female newscasters all sounded alike. Now, ESPN, there's not many women, and I don't know the names. Some of you watch ESPN or the news, so you probably know the different names of the different women that talk about sports. But I noticed that they tend to be very emasculated, obviously, on ESPN, but the voices are all deep, like, all the voices are like deep, dark voices, like rusty voice. Like, when did that happen? Like, how do you I wish I could see your comments because I can't. I see you're here. I see a lot of people in the room. I can't see your comments. Make sure to like the video, please, if you get a chance, because I can't tell if you like the video. If you want more content, like I share with you some of my paranoid shares, you got to let me know you like the topics, because I won't generally share this on YouTube. I'll go and share it elsewhere because I think that, you know, y'all just think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and you just basically, this isn't content for you. So, oh, thank you. I see the likes. I appreciate it. Just, you know, it just allows me to know that that's content that you're receptive to. So yeah, and I can't see comments, so I'm sorry. So thank you for whoever made the donation. I see it up there. I appreciate it. And also thank you for all the people, wonderful people making donations to the sanctuary. I really appreciate it. That is absolutely magnificent. I appreciate it, and I'm grateful. So anyway, let me go back to my my super duper spidey senses picking up on all the copy and paste people. There are copy and paste people. All these celebrities. I looked at Cardi B and I looked at another actress, and my gosh, they look like somebody just took the face of one and stuck it on the body of another. What the heck is going on? So now we have copy and paste people? Who's the real one? Who's the original? Who is the heirloom? Like the original? Like, you know, when you get the Mona Lisa, the original, and then you got copies and copies of copies. Like, I'm just seeing all these copies of people, and then now a copy of voice imprints of people as well. Where are we coexisting? This has gone even deeper than I even realized. So again, I watched ESPN, and I was, you know, I know you guys would find it comical to sit next to me when I'm going in these modes. Remember, my ex-mate actually made me get a new TV, so I actually can go back into my paranoid state of looking at people shape. Because also, you know, this is a sidebar. Also, big up to one of the Mark. Was it Mark? I think it was Mark. Yeah, big up to Mark, who's another subscriber who actually texts me from. Anyway, I don't want to get into that because then I'll blow spots. But anyway, so Mark had sent me a video talking about how the lizards and their tongue movements, like their inability to hold their tongues in, so they have these impulsive times when they stick their, like that, like that. I'm doing it for you, family. I'm not doing it because I'm a reptilian. Well, not that kind, at least. Like they just keep sticking at their tongue without knowing it. So he shared a video, and I remember that's something I know they do, but I wanted to kind of talk about that again, that if we're not talking about copy and paste people, you've got another form of lizard people who that have an issue with, especially if they have a lot of quantified DNA from a reptilian group that does that. Not all reptilians have that propensity to have to stick their tongue out of their mouth, because remember, their tongues aren't the same. They have tongues that are like lizards, and they're they have a problem staying in the mouth, because remember, certain reptiles require for their tongue, flicking their tongue out to keep them cool, which is a lot of different reptiles. You'll see some of the gecko are like that. I think geckos do that. Also, snakes do that. It's to keep their body cool, okay? So the reptilians that have that propensity have a problem keeping their tongues in their mouth, and as they get a little older, now I noticed that as they age a little bit, it's really difficult for them to keep that, to really control that aspect of themselves. So a lot of times what you'll see them do is, if you're watching them and they're older, they tend to flicker their tongue, but their eyes, because it's an impulse, it's a natural impulse, their eyes will move to the side as they're flickering their tongue. Hold on. Yeah. I have to seem normal when I'm in public, because people think when I'm talking to the phone, people think I'm talking to myself. So let me wait a minute. I mean, I'm over by where I get my drink, so. Okay. So anyway, yeah, Mark had shared the video. I think I shared it on Patreon. I think so. Patreon, you can confirm. I think I shared it with y'all. I share listen, I have so many different aliases and platforms. I'm trying to shake them, family. I have platforms everywhere. When they try to shut down one platform, I just shapeshift into another platform. I just do it. I've learned to do that over the years, especially when they're really getting tough and trying to suppress my platforms. I just shift to other platforms to make it easier. Okay, and I noticed that they try to incept on platforms where they know I actually reach a lot more people. So when I have my smaller platforms, I find I can share a little bit more, because there's limited people listening on those platforms like Patreon and Cypher. It's a smaller demographics, but what they also realize is that my people share it with everyone. So can't stop, won't stop. Anyway, let me go back into the topic. So yeah, you have the flickering tongue. They go like this. Look, they do weird things with their tongue, and it's not sexual. It isn't anything like that. It's their natural propensity to certain lizards. You know, I'm gonna go and do another video on vril, because, and this is another sidebar, because they took I know now this is, well, you know me enough to know that I'm sane, but they got one of my friends. The vril has infected one of my friends. So one of my friends has been taken by the vril. I remember going out, I had to meet her, and she was wearing sunglasses. She always wears sunglasses, which is fun. That's why I always show you my eyes. I like to see people's eyes too. Anybody who won't show me their eyes, I don't trust them. So this woman, you know, she's my friend. I've known her for a while. We come from a similar background. Our husbands, I rock with people who are very similar in characteristics, lifestyle, and everything. And she was wearing sunglasses one day, and I noticed that she had a black eye, like a darkening around her eye, not bags, but like dark eye. So I didn't think anything of it. And then, something flew, because we're in Florida. So, but sometimes we don't have really a lot of bugs around, but occasionally you'll get like something that'll fly in your eye or around your eye or something like that. And she had to take off her, she took it off really quick. And I noticed it was her which eye was it? It was her, was it, wait, was it her right eye? It was her right eye, was black. Now, she's not a fighter. She's not bruck up like me. She's not getting in boxing fights with anyone, any draconian hybrids in New York. She isn't that kind of person. She's, a very, well-established woman. And she said nothing about it. And, sometimes I allow people to leave discreetness with their shares to see if it is, to get an idea as if it's something that I detail is something. So, and her behavior and the things that she's been doing are really, really questionable. And I personally think that now she's involved with the MyLab gentleman. Is a new it's a whole lot. It's a covert operation. I'm serious, family. I'm safe. Like I said, I'm sane, but they got her. They got my friend, and now she's been incepted by the Vril. They went in through her optic nerve. That's what they do. It's like a little parasitic kind of, it almost looks like a worm, but it's like a little lizard. And it gets into your eye, and then it takes over your optic. It goes behind your eye, and it takes over your brain through your optic nerve. And then basically you're a walking, talking reptilian via this little entity, and now you're a host for them. And you are ruled by whatever agenda that hive of Vril desire. So she's been taken over, and I can't really trust her anymore. And it's really sad because, that was my homie. And you already know, I will shed anyone who is being infiltrated by the dark Kabbalist, minions. And the Vril are working side by side with the Draconians, and that is something I have to stay away from. So unfortunately, rest in power to my sea star, who was taken over by a Vril, probably because of her association with me, and I feel guilty with that, but I got to keep it moving. It's just what it is, that you about this life, and you understand that there's other beings here coexisting with you that have agendas that are anti to your cohesion in life. You have to drop it like it's hot and keep moving on. There's a lot of casualties on this planet, and sometimes the casualties will be the very people that you trust the most. If they want to get at you, they'll get at your family members, they'll get at your friends, they'll get at your coworkers. So you keep your circle small, clean, and clear. And if somebody starts acting sideways, you gotta drop it like it's hot and keep and move forward or backwards, whichever is more more appropriate for you. Anyway, so again, if you're joining the room, I can't see your comments because YouTube has made sure that your comments aren't even showing. So that's okay, because as long I hope that you know what, I can tell if you can see. Now, do me a favor, because I can't tell that you're on here, because I could just see people are in here, and I can't really see if anybody's actually interacting. Can you put likes on here quickly, like quick likes, so that I know people are actually talking to one another? That's how I'll know. So if I see you put a whole bunch of likes on there, it'll let me know that you're talking to each other. Yes, thank you. Okay, I got it, because I see it. Thank you. That served to, okay, thank you, family. So I see that you're talking to one another with the likes, because I couldn't tell because I can't see you. But you can see me, and you can talk to each other. Thank you for the likes anyway. Okay, so let's get on the Vril, because I sidebarred to the Vril, but we'll get back to the copy and paste people, because it's all relative. The copy and paste people here, and believe me, family, I have to verify that I'm who I am. Someone asked me, because I disappeared for a couple weeks, which wasn't purposefully done. Sometimes people have lives, and I was pregnant at the time, so there was just a tragedy that happened, and it is what it is at this point. I've resolved it, I've transmuted that, and I'm healing, and I'm well, so I'm grateful. But you already know that most people in our community, as they should, would question if it's the real FleurBrun. And sometimes I gotta wake up and make sure it's me, because obviously we're living in a world where not only copying people, they're copying and pasting you, they're cloning people. So you have to make sure that you don't just have inserted memories of some of the remnants of who you were before, and you're not really the real person. So I have tests the screen just changed. Interesting, when I said that the screen changed. I still don't see your comments. This is interesting, family. I, the screen just switched. So I have tests to, and you know, also Rudolph of Germany made a video, which I think is relative to this topic, but I have certain things that I do to verify if it's me. And I have a bulletproof way to do it so that I can always make sure that it isn't FleurBrun that's been infiltrated, because you have to do that. Listen, and I'm not that special, but I know that there is some diabolical inception in my midst that would allow these bastards, you know, to try to do a little switcheroo. So I make sure that it's FleurBrun, you know, I have to make sure of that. You know, if I start, if I can all of a sudden sing, or if I start, you know, speaking with an accent, you know, if you ever get a chance to watch a show, I remember I used to do interviews in the Netherlands on this. It was K something TV in the Netherlands. I used to do a show in the Netherlands, and their biggest thing was cloning. So I remember them telling me to watch, what was it? Something Black on Netflix. What was it called? Oh, I forgot. Oh gosh. Something Black on, it's about a woman who's been cloned there's women, they're all clones and they're all different. Like it's a really good show. What is it called? Kodak, is it Kodak Black? No, it's something else. I many of you know what it is already. If you know what it is, just share it in if you guys can see each other, just share it in there. It's really good. I stopped watching after a certain period of time because it's a little disturbing. You start putting that in your consciousness, then you start bringing that to your realm of reality, and you want to make sure you want to keep your reality to what you desire, as opposed to what others will start to imprint into your reality or start to project into your reality. But it's a really good show, giving a concept of the cloning process and what they do and how easily one can be incepted and how many times they will do it if you're qualified to that kind of replication. So, and there's a difference between replicating and cloning, which I think I've denoted before, okay? Green smoothies rock. Whenever I have a green smoothie, I feel like God. Yeah, I had to work out this morning and drink green smoothies so I can feel like my old self. Anyway, so we have the Vril, and like I said, my girlfriend was taken over. She's done. She's been taken over by the Vril. Even the things that she I don't want to get to, because they listen to my platform, but yeah. And have I told her, if anyone said that, I just picked that up, have I told her that I think she's Vril? No, because I don't necessarily want to verbally state that to her, but my actions are speaking louder than my words could ever, because I don't trust her. And it's things that she's doing that not diabolical things. They would never be that, you know, they're not even that, you know, remember these beings that do things like the Vril, they're very clever. They're not always so overt in the things that they do. They do real subliminal things that they think that the average person, they can get over on the average person, but obviously we're not the average people. So to get over on someone who's eyes wide open is really difficult. They would have to hide themselves in a way that is so subliminal, so subtle, that we wouldn't pick it up. But it's hard because we're heightened in awareness, and also we're sensitive, and I'm paranoid because I'm from New York. So it's really difficult. But like I said, her pattern of behavior changed, and then she started to do little things and start to put me in positions where she was trying to, you know, anyway, I'm gonna move forward to the copy and paste people. So I started to say to myself, okay, I'm already seeing, this existed probably before, and I'm probably just noticing it now, the same voice patterning amongst telecasters and others, then the copy and paste people showing up on social media networks where people's facial features are all mimicking. I don't care if it's makeup or so on. There's a copying of some sort of base, and they copy it and they paste it on different people's bodies and give them different names and actually put them in different genres. And then you say to yourself, why does a certain person feel so familiar? Because they're a copy of 50 million prints of the same thing that you've been seeing on every formulated platform. And also, we have to take in consideration, this goes to say that even with people's behavior, now this is what I'm saying lately, it's another conversation too, and it's kind of a sidebar, but it's related to the copy and paste people, is that I'm noticing the same kind of ratchet behavior in certain arenas of people. So let's just say there's certain platforms where normally people are cool, they're kind of cohesive, they're conscious, they're high vibrational, they're very spiritually astute, they rock for the divine, they look like a wonderful divine masculine or divine feminine, they always upheld what you consider to be the standard of appropriateness on social media, and then all of a sudden the hell gates are open and everyone has lost their mind. That's another copy and paste. It's almost like a behavioral copy and paste, like the same savage copy of one type of vibration, like a copy of a vibration, and it being imprinted, holographically imprinted on different people, on different platforms, different nationalities, different genres of people. That's what I'm saying. This copy and paste is going further than I even acknowledge. And now I have to say to myself, my gosh, we're living in a cesspool. Wait. We're living in a holographic cesspool. This is like the petri dish of viruses. To talk to someone who's actually rational and sane is a privilege at this point. Even on the show last night, we were talking about with R. Kelly and so on, and I think I brought it up on Instagram too. I was just saying, you have people who there was one gentleman who was making herbal packs. Someone sent me a video about R. Kelly, like people saying that they don't like R. Kelly, they hate R. Kelly, but then they're playing R. Kelly music in their videos. So they sent me this dude. I can't share his name, and I'm not going to do it. Some of you already know. A lot of you already know. It's funny because it's insane. He's making these herbal packs, I guess he's an herbalist or a naturopathic. And actually the stuff he was using was on point, but who would purchase it from somebody who's so confused and and has an imprint of a demonic type of being such as R. Kelly while he's producing something that's supposed to be helpful? Whenever you're producing any sort of herb or any sort of herbal mixture, the energies have to be in vibration. So if the person is lower vibrational, or the person is struggling with their own sense of confidence, it will translate in the things that they create for you. So he was creating some sort of herbal pack while he's playing not just one R. Kelly song. He was playing like a host of songs. Like I guess he played the album, or it wasn't an album because I don't think it was all the same album, but different songs from different, maybe it was on his like his playlist. I guess it was his playlist. But why was every song R. Kelly? Like I was like, is this a demonic? Are they trying to trick us? That's like trickery. You know how they say prostitutes are tricking? They're like tricking. Is that still a term? Tricking? I felt he was tricking people. Like he was saying he was one thing, but how you gonna be an herbalist and play an R. Kelly in the background? How are you even an herbalist and even play R. Kelly for anything? So I'm just saying, people, be careful with that. We talked about it on Instagram. I'd never seen that before. I thought that was like a setup. I thought it was being punked. To be honest, when someone said somebody was doing that, I thought they were, I don't think they were lying. I think they misinterpreted it. That's how I think, because I think that to me is so brazenly outlandishly hypocritical that it's hard. And then after I watched this gentleman making herbal packs, I think that's what it was, herbal packs. And again, the stuff he was putting together was cool. I understood the reason and the alchemy of the mixtures that he was making. I appreciated seeing that, but the type of person who could play that music in any way isn't someone that you should take, because again, it's just like, do you want someone as a hairdresser? I remember my mother said in French, we say a saying in English, let's say in English it says, especially when you're pregnant, you never let women who are envious of you do your hair, or you get a pregnant woman to do your hair if you're pregnant. So if I'm pregnant and I have someone do my hair, she has to be someone who's in love, who has love for me, like someone who loves you, who wishes you well, or pregnant herself. It's a saying that I don't think I can translate it, but it means that it's just, you want someone who does well to do maintenance on you. That's basically what it's saying. But the same goes with somebody who's creating things to give to people, the populace. If they're not in sync and they're living a very hypocritical, or they're living in hypocrisy, or they're actually showing one face when they're something else, you have to be careful engaging with them or taking anything from them. Because this man was obviously, bait and switch. Like and then he made a video talking about R. Kelly is a savage, R. Kelly is a pedophile. Weren't you just playing R. Kelly like 2.5 seconds ago? I thought that was interesting. I don't want to go too deep on that, because that's kind of like another genre. We were discussing that. I kind of sidebarred on that, but I'm just showing the hypocrisy with that. But what I was trying to bring that to is, I noticed a common savagery in the public media arena, where there is a copy and paste, like a copy of a savage type of genre behavior, and it's being imprinted on different platforms where people are showing up with a lack of ethical or moralistic or hypocritical, but it's all in the same mix though. It's the same mix because it shows up in the same way. So we have copy and paste people on this planet, along with the holographic people, the empty seaters, okay, along with the shapeshifters, who are any host of ETs that are using technology to cloak themselves. And if not technology, they're able to bypass your cerebral cortex and give you a projected image of them as they aren't, so that you are realizing that you're interacting with a being that is not humanoid, okay? Or you have beings on this planet that are, have demonic jump-ons, jump room people. I call them jump room people, where they have demons actually attached to their auric field that are running and driving their wants and needs. And those people, that's something that's more, that you would have more foresight on, because those people generally have addictions to drugs, alcohol, or low field sexual behavior. Polygamy is one of them. Okay, and again, oh, that was it. I remembered polygamy in the community, in the brown community now. With I've noticed that is another copy and paste genre that's being imprinted on all the brown males in every, even R. Kelly. So now he's a polygamist. I'm looking at his two mind-controlled, females that were speaking on his behalf. Remind me of Nature Knot a little bit, on how there's like an empty mind, and it's being filled by another person's, another person's thoughts and patterns of behavior, and they're just basically parroting out what they've been filled with and programmed with by their handler or their male father figure that has gotten young girls who have an empty mind. That's why you have to be very mindful, my young sea stars and sun stars. Anyone who is 20 years older than you or plus, that is somebody who is utilizing you for utilizing you to feed off of your youth, because that is a form of vampirism. People who only want to engage sexually or want to date people who are that much younger, who could be the age of children that they could have had previously, that's also a sign of vampirism. They want to feed off of your youth and take that away. Also, it's a sign of being controlling. Someone who wants an empty empty tablet, and they want to fill you with what they want and their desires, so that you're basically a slave and you will do as they will, do as thou wilt. Okay, kind of like that. So you have to be very careful, because I noticed this copy and paste genre of polygamy on all I mean, it doesn't even matter if they're from a nation of Islam. It doesn't even matter if they're the Hebrew Israelites. It doesn't even matter if they're from the metaphysical Moorish community. It doesn't matter if they're from the occult community, the other forms of the occult community. It doesn't matter if they're like you know, a pedophile like R. Kelly or a host of others. They have this perpetual imprint and copy of a type of genre that is obviously part of a very satanic Luciferian kind of, it's gluttony. It's yoni hoarding. That's all that is. That's being made to be more acceptable. And obviously, anyone who has rational sense would understand if it was a natural propensity for beings to be in polygamous relationships, the counterparts of polygamy would be receptive to it, and actually they would choose to do it on their own without males being the progenitors or the ones directing women to do so, and women doing it based on the fact that they don't want to lose the male, or they have something to gain financially or control wise by the person who's actually promoting it. Okay, so give me a woman who's actually someone who's picked polygamy and she's choosing her husband to do so. I haven't seen that, because it doesn't exist. If it does, please direct her to me so I can take that back and eat my words. And also I want to see how it's worked out for her. All polygamy is yoni hoarding. It's coming out when the divine feminine's coming back online, and she's showing up in a very positive, strong way, in a healing way. So that's the way that the male, unhealthy male, finds his way to subjectify women in a way that disallows for her feeling as if she's her being one whole being is enough to quantify her worth to him. Okay, so it messes with her mind, because in her mind she will feel, and this is just what I'm saying, like I'm saying, I don't see your comments, so if you have comments, please, oh, you know, people who've done this, I want to know if there's any females, I haven't known of them, if any females are the ones who are being the progenitors of polygamy, and they are the ones who are picking husbands to do that with, and actually having more than just 1 or 2 years of success in polygamy. Show me someone who's done that. I will be happy to have them on my show, and then I will actually have maybe a route to start with, rather than knowing that that's unhealthy. Okay, so that's another copy and paste aspects of the populace right now, showing up with this lack of self-control that's being propagated as a normality in aspects of the brown community, especially in all these different social media networks. It is a natural, family. Just like I tell you, being tethered by a relationship too long isn't natural. It isn't natural for males to have several different females in that way. Tribally based, perhaps in certain types of tribes that was done, and it wasn't in every tribe. And most of the people coexisting now in the United States of America were from native and indigenous tribes that did not do that. Okay, and also those were done with the kings and queens in order to extend their bloodlines, and they were able to do it based on the fact that they sat in a higher hierarchy, and that was done amongst the wealthy and wasn't done amongst the common people. So, you know, that's a whole, they will justify that all day. They won't come on my platform and argue that, because they will be met with someone who actually has some wisdom and actually has some self-esteem. Can't stop, won't stop anyway. So, family, I would love to hear, I wish I could see you on this. It just, YouTube, I'm cheating on you with Instagram. You do know this, right? I'm actually having, this is the only polygamous relationship I agree with. I'm actually having a polygamous relationship with YouTube and Instagram and FB. So I actually have husband networks that I'm because I don't like the way you're treating me, YouTube. I'm really having a problem. Even though you've done wonderful, give us a platform, I really have a problem with what you're doing right now, because I can't see my comments. Anyway, family, I'm going to actually skadoodles on this feed really quick so I'm actually going to go to Instagram and just kind of finish off this dialogue. But I just want you to take thought. Remember, like I said, I could be all kinds of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You could think I'm all kinds of paranoid because, you know, I say that I'm in contact with ETs, and that bothers people to a certain degree, especially when they see a copper woman talking about it. It messes with their peace of mind. But I always say this: if you think that is the case, vet everything I say out. I love, the one thing I say is don't take everything I say at face value. Vet it out. See if what I'm sharing, because all I'm doing is sharing. I'm not a teacher. I'm just a humble student who's walked in this world and is learning and evolving and gaining wisdom just like every one of you. So I'm not above and beyond anyone here, and I'm not above and beyond changing my mind based on something new intel coming in that precedes or actually supersedes my level of intel previously. I'm okay with that. But vet everything I say out. See if you don't think there's reptilians, start watching people's mouths. Remember we told them to watch your eyes? Why don't you watch your mouths? See if they're flickering their tongue all the time. They can't keep their tongue in their mouths. And I'm not talking about some sexual people that do that, because sometimes you have, you know, people who like are lustful and they do some weird things with their mouth, you know. There are those, but there's not that many. But I'm talking about people, start watching people on television. You'd be surprised how interesting their pattern of mouths start to change. Because if you broke the code, you should have seen this already. Because it's not just the eyes that shapeshift, it's their girth. Usually they get a little bigger. You start to see aspects like, oh, didn't they look smaller? Why do they look so wide? It's usually the shoulders here. And then you start seeing the morph skin that moves. That freaks a lot of you out, you know. I know somebody who lost their mind when they saw that. I told you about the boyfriend who lost his mind because he saw the shifting skin. And that alone, that's why they don't show you who they are. That alone would mess with your peace of mind, because it's something that you can't even conceive. When you start seeing skin that's porous, that actually moves, you know, it almost looks like a checkerboard, but it's sentient. That messes with people. Like the skin has its own mind of itself. That's probably the only thing, and that's also how I know people who've actually seen some of the reptilian groups. That's how I know if they're being honest sometimes, because that's something that most people haven't been able to see if it's something that they're trying to denote. They have this concept of reptilians that isn't true, because when you actually see them in person, it can be disconcerting. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna end this conversation. I'm sorry, everyone. I wish I could talk to you because they've disallowed me from seeing the feed. But I'm actually gonna go over to Instagram real quick. I'm actually gonna drive up to my next location, and I'm going to go to Instagram and finish this conversation so we can actually talk about copy and paste people. So have this conversation in your own networks. See if people are actually realizing these imprints, these holographic impressions that are being perpetually propaganda on all social media, so people look like the same person, but they're a different person, different nationality. I mean, literally, you will see the same face on different women of different color, just with more of a tan. It's insane. The voices freaked me out today when I was just working out, and these people are listening to CNN. I'm just tired of them listening to CNN, so I don't pay attention. But that voice, a Gayle King, and I looked up and it wasn't her. And then they changed the channel. It was another, because I went to another side of the gym, and then it was another woman that sounded like Gayle King. And then I went to ESPN, and all the women sounded like Gayle King. There you go. You get to go home.
No.
You gonna go to sleep?
No, I gotta do shit.
All right, Mama. Take care. That was the lovely young lady who made my green smoothie. If you want to know what's in my green smoothie, for anyone who's asking, because I can't see you, this is kale, mango, because you know I always had it, mango, ginger, pineapple, because they have another mix. I don't do peaches, pineapple, and then they have a little bit of lemon water. I like a lot of ginger though. I like spicy. Oh, so good. And it's hot here, so it's like 80. It was a little cooler, it's almost 80 degrees. So this is a good, nice treat for, you know, this is lunch for me. Cause I'm a thickums, and I have to pull it back in, family. Anyway, so I'm gonna go to Instagram. Thank you for joining me for this conversation again. I apologize on behalf of YouTube for disallowing me to engage with you, because they obviously made sure that we couldn't chat. I couldn't chat with you live. But that's why I have another lover, and it's called Instagram. So I'm gonna go to my other partner, and like I said, that's the only polygamous relationship that I think could be cohesive. Anyway, family, peace, and I'll check you